Hello, this is Dr. Amigues from Unabridged MD, where I provide hope driven by science. And today I would like to talk about gout, and I'm going to start with a story of a patient that I saw not so long ago. So it's a patient that went to the hospital because he had heart failure, and it was the first time that he had an issue with his heart failure. And he was doing really well from the heart failure point of view until his day of discharge, and you can imagine how excited he was to get discharged. Until he developed severe pain, and so much pain that he was really not looking forward to being discharged, and he just wanted to almost cut his limbs off because of the pain that he had. And so I got to see him, and ultimately he did have gout. He had severe joint pain with a ton of swellings, and it was gout. It was typical gout. We removed some of the fluid, we looked at it under microscope, and typical gout. And so we were able to treat him, and he went home. And this is a very good story because it happens so often. Patients will have gout, or they don't know that they have gout, and then there is one thing that happens in their medical history that leads them to have a severe flare. Gout is, for rheumatologists, the worst pain. So we know that gout is the worst pain that can ever happen when it comes to rheumatology. It's so bad that even the touch of a sheet is excruciating. And so I want to discuss gout a little bit here because there are things we can do. So we're going to talk about three things. So what is gout, first of all? What is gout and some of the things that we can do to prevent flare? So gout is basically an issue of, basically it's the endpoint of an issue with your body when the body is not able to get rid of an accumulation of uric acid. All right? Where do we see uric acid? Uric acid is basically the breakdown of the cells, and most of the protein, and so it can accumulate. Usually, it's being released by the kidneys. So the kidneys basically pee this out, pee the uric acid that the too much of uric acid is just being peed out. And so when you understand this, you understand that the issue of patients with gout are either that they eat too much product that will lead to too much uric acid. That's number one. Or that they break down too many of their cells and that will lead to too much uric acid, or that they have an issue with their kidney that does not allow them to pee the uric acid out. All right? Once we understand this, we understand how we can prevent gout flare. How can we prevent gout flare? One, by making sure that the diet does not have too much nutrition that will lead to too much uric acid production. So what is that? Well, in vast majority, really, it's the high purine alimentation, so the high purine food. And in general, I want to say it's high protein meat, high animal protein alimentation. So red meat or seafood, those, and we joke in France that usually there are a ton of patients who come with gout flare after New Year's Eve and Christmas because we like to eat a lot of meat and we like to eat a ton of seafood, and that will lead to too much uric acid and gout flare. Okay, so that's the first one. There are, on the web, on my website, I have put a list of do's and don'ts when it comes to alimentation for patients with gout. Okay, so that's number one. If you take too much uric acid. Number two, you can decrease uric acid, or if you do gout, you have to look into your kidneys. Do you have any kidneys issue? Either because you have kidney issue or because we, doctors, have caused you to have kidney issue. And so when we come to the first story that I was telling you, the story of this patient with heart failure, what is the mainstay of treatment for heart failure is diuretic. So it's actually so furosemide or Lasix. We give you a medication that's gonna oblige your kidneys to pee the water, and because you do this, what's happening is that your kidneys are potentially causing uric acid to be kept and cause some issues with causing flare of gout, okay? And so what you want to make sure is that you talk to your, to any of the docs that you're seeing and say, hey, I've had gout in the past, what is the new medication you're giving me so that I don't have a flare, okay? Because we can prevent flares. And either maybe you have taken a ton of, so the diuretics are really a big one, but maybe you're taking, you've gotten a hit in terms of your kidneys with taking too much anti-inflammatory and so on, okay? So you're looking at, am I eating too much food that's causing retention of, creation of uric acid, or am I having an issue with peeing the uric acid out, either because my kidneys are having an issue or because I'm getting some medication that are causing me to have kidney issues, okay? And then the last thing is that you can actually, so we're preventing this like this, and then the last thing is you can actually take medication, which, primary care physician or rheumatologist will give you to lower the uric acid in your body, all right? So in order to lower the uric acid in your body, usually we take allopurinol or febuxostat, and those are medications that work very well. In order to work very well, they move the uric acid, okay? And so we have a goal. We have a goal of uric acid less than 6 or 5.5 if you have to 5, so that, we're going into the details, but just know that we can prevent gout flare if your uric acid is at a level that allows us to kind of predict that there won't be any flares thanks to this. All right? So, and I do want to, tell you that I've had many patients in my practice that would come and tell me either that they could deal with the flares and that was okay, that they had 3-4 flares per year and that they knew how to deal with them. And what's very interesting is to tell them, hey, you don't actually have to have those flares. We can prevent those. And some of those patients are going to prevent it by having a low purine diet, and some other patients are going to prevent them by getting a medication, okay? And finally, some other ones are going to prevent them by making sure that they do not start medication that would potentially interfere with the uric acid level, so such as diuretics and so on if you have heart failure, okay? So if I could tell you that there are a couple of things that you can do on your own to prevent those flares, it's actually very important for you to know that you can take this into your own hands. So I've created a list of do's and don'ts when it comes to gout. You can look at it on my website. It will ask you to give me your email just so that I can keep track of who's interested in such PDFs. So you will go on my website, unabridgedmd.com, and then you go to resources and you'll find that they will ask you for your email. You put your email, it's safe, no problem. I will not send you any spam. And then you will get access to the do's and don'ts when it comes to gout, okay? And then I will finish on this very positive note. What if I could tell you that nowadays we have treatments and management tools that don't necessarily require treatment, in fact, right? That we have tools that will allow you to not have to worry about your gout. What if I could tell you that the next time you need diuretics because you have heart failure, we can prevent a flare? What if I could tell you that we can manage and make sure that your uric acid goes down without you developing any flare of gout? Well, that is what rheumatologists and that is what I do. So please know that there is a ton of hope when it comes to gout. So again, you can look at the do's and don'ts that I've created on the website at unabridgedmd.com. You can talk with your primary care physician, and if you feel that your gout is very difficult to control, please do not hesitate to be referred to a rheumatologist. And of course, if you live in Denver or in Colorado, please contact me. I will be happy to take care of you. This is a disease that's very easy to take care of, right? And it's actually pretty simple. We just have to explain it to you properly so that you know how to take care of it. I am Dr. Amigues from Unabridged MD. It's an absolutely pleasure to have discussed gout with you. There is, of course, more to say about gout, and there will be a part 2 and maybe a part 3. And I would be happy to bring on other rheumatologists to discuss this, maybe nephrologists in the future to discuss, management of gout when a patient has renal failure. You can learn more on my website on unabridgedmd.com. You can put your email and you will get access to some PDFs with the do's and don'ts if you have gout. Again, I'm Unabridged MD. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share to people who have gout or whom you think may have gout this episode. All right? Have a wonderful day.